Hey YouTube, Tyrant60 here to do my movie review of Joker, and here's how I'm gonna go about it. First, I'm gonna talk about all the noise with the critics and everything, talking about it, them thinking it's too violent, and whether or not it should be in the conversation for Best Picture. Then I'm gonna talk about Joaquin Phoenix's performance. Almost said Heath Ledger, and then I'm going to get into spoiler territory and talk about how it ties into the potentially the DC cinematic universe. So first, the critical buzz about how many critics were saying this is too violent, how this is going to cause a mass shooting or cause just a spike in murders. And that conversation is not new. It's been around for a while. We've heard it before, video games and um, other violent movies, and times have not changed. It, in my opinion, I saw the movie. Violence wise, my favorite critic Chris Stuckman said it beautifully when he said, "Joker itself is not actually that violent. Deadpool is more violent than Joker, but we don't take Deadpool seriously because he doesn't care about the violence. In this movie, you care about the characters who are dying in front of you, because they aren't nameless, faceless thugs that are just getting beheaded. They're real people that every murder the Joker does in this movie really makes you feel for them, even if you hate them. Uh, like some of the people the Joker killed in this movie, people who some may perceive as deserve to die, you have this a little bit of a reaction to, like, wow, oh, uh. So yes, that's the only reason why it's not too violent. It's just it does violence so well, so realistically, it feels like you're actually watching murder happen on screen, and that's actually beautiful. It accomplishes its mission. In terms of this being one of the best pictures of all time, and this being Best Picture, no, I don't think it's going to win Best Picture, and for that matter, I don't even think it's going to be nominated. In terms of originality, it's basically an amalgamation of a lot of different movies. Most of this movie is Taxi Driver. In fact, spoiler, the build up to Taxi Driver, very, very similar to the build up in Joker. I would just say in two sentences what Joker is if Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver doesn't die and just keeps descending into chaos, and that's beautiful. Also, there were not scenes, but elements of other movies that this directly pulled from. There's a murder in this movie that is just like a murder on one over flew over the cuckoo's nest. I can't talk. And then there was another one that was very similar to American Psycho, and it's like, okay, if you put American Psycho, the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest, and Taxi Driver together, you have a lot of what the Joker is. And I would say it's not doesn't detract from the quality of film Joker is, but this movie isn't entirely original. It's heavily adapted, not just from the comic book material. However, what this movie does beautifully and better than most movies about people's descent into chaos is uh, justifies not justify doesn't justify is expresses why this character is descending into chaos, and that's super important for the believability of the film. uh Joaquin Phoenix, did I say Heath Ledger earlier? Joaquin Phoenix, I keep saying, in my opinion, has done the most believable Joker that has ever been presented on screen. A lot of people would say Heath Ledger, but Heath Ledger's Joker is a drug addict. Like his portrayal of someone who's insane is someone who's like a meth head or something. Whereas Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal is someone who is literally born crazy, insane, out of his mind and everything. And I think, just judging from what I've seen thus far in movies this year, I think Joaquin Phoenix is a strong contender for Best Actor winner, Oscars 2019. And a little bit more about the movie before I get into real spoiler territory. Martin Scorsese is one of the producers of the movie, one of the EPs. And you can tell this movie is heavily influenced by Scorsese, with De Niro being a big part of it. I'm sure that was a Taxi Driver reference. But it's just funny little side commentary because Scorsese did have that quote about superhero movies not being filmed, but then he's pulling from, like, he's producing a movie with a character from a superhero universe, which arguably is going to possibly be in a superhero universe. So let's get to spoiler territory. The best twist in the movie, and I'm going to talk about it right now, is there's two big twists in the movie. In my opinion, the best twist is the American Beauty moment. Beautiful Mind moment, where you find out that the neighbor girl was never dating him when he just makes his way into her apartment, and then she comes out of putting her daughter to sleep, and he's like, "Who are you?" And then it's like, oh my god, she's never been here. She's been made up in his head the whole time. And then the open action, meaning we don't know if he actually did kill her at that moment. And there were other moments in this film too where you're like, did he actually kill that person? Like in the end, in Arkham Asylum, you're like, did he really just do that? And those open sort of actions are incredible storytelling elements, which makes you want to rewatch it. It's very Sixth Sense in the sense that you're like, wow, that explains so much. And the other big twist is a lot of the movie you think that Joker's mom has these ties to the Wayne Manor, which she does, and then you think that you find out that Joker's going to be Bruce Wayne's half-brother, and you're like, whoa, what? But then you find out, no, she was just crazy, and when you find out he's crazy, that's where it goes into Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And, beautiful movie. So how does this tie into the DC Cinematic Universe? A lot of people are saying it's going to be a standalone film, and it very well could be, but what the producers and director did, which was very wise, is they set up the Thomas and Martha Wayne murders again. Not as directly responsible as in the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie, but they set up that the Joker was responsible for Thomas and Martha Wayne dying by planting seeds throughout the entire movie about how there's a separation between the rich and the poor, and then the rich don't care about the poor, and him being a martyr for that indirectly. And it's his language of that is what inspired the guy to murder Thomas and Martha Wayne in front of Bruce Wayne. And then at the end of the movie, Joaquin Phoenix laughs about it, like, I got Thomas Wayne indirectly, that's funny. So what this could have entirely set up is in the next Batman movie, the one, unfortunately, starring Robert Pattinson. He could be good, I don't know, I don't have faith in it quite yet, they have to convince me. But in that one, it could set up that Bruce Wayne is the same Bruce Wayne from this movie, the child who watched his parents get murdered in front of him due to the Joker's actions. They do so, I really hope they do so. If they do so, they could get, because Joaquin Phoenix said he doesn't want to do a franchise. So that's probably why they set it 30 years in the past to set up these seeds. If they do that, then they can have another older actor play the Joker. My vote is with William Dafoe, who did an amazing job as Green Goblin. And if they had that tied in with Margot Robbie, who's playing Harley Quinn again in the Suicide Squad and in I always forget the name of the other one, but she's in another DC movie, the female villain or anti-hero squad movie. I saw the trailer for it. It looks good. But talking about DC, DC once portrayed themselves as we're the bad boys. We do the dark movies. And they never had actually really delivered. They got close with The Dark Knight, but it didn't really deliver on, or haven't to this point delivered on, a live action cinematic movie that is really dark. And now with Joker, they absolutely have done it, and deservedly so have gotten the highest grossing rated R feature of all time. Because although it's heavily pulls from movies like Taxi Driver, it actually is a really good movie that has a lot of really deep introspective character analysis, or it really gets deep into the character of the Joker, and it's not shallow at all. They don't cut any corners, and they get really deep into why the Joker is who he is. And Joaquin Phoenix does an outstanding, amazing job portraying that. And if you hadn't seen this and you decided to watch this spoiler review for some reason, go watch it. It's heavy. I'll just say it doesn't feel like a drama. Yes, the whole movie's very sad. It feels more like a horror movie from the perspective of the killer. And that in itself is worth the ticket price. Throughout a lot of moments in this movie, my heart was racing because I didn't know who he would kill next. There are moments where you think the Joker's going to do one thing, and then he does something completely different. And I think since you're on the ride with the Joker, generally when you watch movies, what you're doing is you're coming to understand and learn who these characters are. But because of his unpredictability, it's a very refreshing experience to get unexpected results consistently throughout this film. And that paired with these really high suspense moments of, is he going to kill this person? Or is he not going to kill this person? What is he going to do with this person? I thought he liked that person. Is he going to kill that person? All of those are very hugely impactful moments. And there is a lot of other subplots. A lot of critics have been talking about the rich versus poor aspect of it, and that's a subplot that's so sub, I wouldn't even consider it in this conversation in terms of what this movie is actually about. I think what this movie is actually about is how fragile we are as people when it comes to insanity, how close we are to losing our minds, and how capable we are of doing great evil. It doesn't really get into good versus evil because once you take away sanity, which is our ability to reason, once you take that away, which the Joker never had in this movie, once you take that away, then you are basically a killing machine. And again, it's not a revolutionary picture, and I don't think it's going to be nominated for Best Picture, but it's one that's extremely well done, and it's a great time. So you should watch it and take my word for it. Anyways, that's it for me. I don't do very many movie reviews anymore, but seeing the Joker makes me really want to go out and watch more artistic features. I also want to see Ford v Ferrari in 1917. I don't have much time anymore for many reasons, but I'm going to try and catch those flicks. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.